Hey everyone, welcome back to English Express, the podcast where we just talk like real people. No scripts, no perfect grammar, just two friends having a conversation. So you can listen, repeat, and start sounding more natural in English.
That's right. I'm Finn, and today we're talking about something everyone is trying to figure out. How to actually get your life together. And I say trying because, honestly, I don't think any of us ever fully does.
Oh, absolutely not. I think the goal is just to look like you have it together, even when you don't. That's the real adult skill, right?
100%. Okay, so we've got a really good episode planned. We're going to talk about morning routines, work habits, how we spend our evenings, social life, and all the little things that make up a regular day in English.
And remember, the best way to use this podcast is to shadow us. That means you listen first, and then you repeat what we say. Try to copy our rhythm, our tone, our natural speed. Don't just read the words, feel the energy.
Exactly. If you can sound like us by the end of this episode, your English is going to feel so much more natural. Okay, let's get into it.
So, Finn, let's start with mornings. What does your morning actually look like? Be honest.
Okay, honestly, my morning is a disaster. My alarm goes off at 7 and I hit snooze at least 3 times, sometimes 4. Then I'm running around trying to find my phone charger, spilling coffee on my shirt.
Every single morning.
Pretty much every morning, yeah. I have this idea in my head of what my morning should look like. Wake up at 6, go for a run, make a healthy breakfast, meditate for 20 minutes. But what actually happens is completely different.
The gap between who we think we are and who we actually are first thing in the morning is massive. I get it. I used to be terrible in the mornings too.
Used to be? So what changed?
I started putting my phone in another room at night. That was the big one. Because before, I'd lie in bed scrolling for an hour before I even thought about getting up. And then I felt tired and annoyed before the day even started.
Oh, I know that feeling. You've been in bed for 8 hours and somehow you still feel exhausted because you spent the last hour watching videos of cats failing to jump onto tables.
Exactly. Those videos are a trap. So now I put the phone in the kitchen and I have an actual alarm clock, a real one, on my bedside table. And it kind of forces me to physically get out of bed to check my messages.
That's actually a really good idea. I've heard people talk about that, but I've never actually done it.
It genuinely changed everything. Once I'm up and out of bed, I'm fine. The hardest part is just those first 5 minutes.
The first 5 minutes are brutal. Your brain is still basically offline. You're just sort of standing there in the kitchen in your pajamas, staring at the kettle.
Waiting for it to boil, yes. And then the kettle boils and somehow everything gets better.
Tea or coffee for you in the morning?
Coffee. Always coffee. Strong coffee. I'm not a person before my first cup. I've told my friends, do not try to have a serious conversation with me before I've had coffee. It won't go well.
That's fair warning. I'm a tea person, actually. I know that surprises some people. I like the ritual of it. Putting the bag in, waiting for it to brew, adding just the right amount of milk.
You've put a lot of thought into your tea.
It matters. The milk-to-tea ratio matters a lot, actually. Too much milk and it tastes like warm water. Too little and it's too strong. You have to get it right.
Okay, I respect that. I take mine with oat milk and 2 sugars, which I know is controversial in some coffee circles.
2 sugars? Really?
Yes, 2 sugars. I like sweet coffee. Judge me.
I'm not judging. I just wasn't expecting that from you. You seem like a black coffee person.
I know, everyone thinks that, but no. Oat milk and 2 sugars every single morning.
Okay, so after the coffee, what's next for you? Do you eat breakfast?
I try to. It depends on the day. On a good day, I'll make eggs. Scrambled eggs, usually, with some toast. On a busy day, it's just a banana grabbed on the way out the door. And on a really bad day, it's nothing until 11 o'clock, and then I'm starving and I eat something terrible.
Oh, yes, the 11 o'clock scramble. That's real. You skip breakfast thinking you're being efficient, and then by mid-morning you can't concentrate on anything because your brain has no fuel.
And then you make bad decisions because you're hungry. Like you decide to order a massive lunch because you're starving, and then you feel heavy and sleepy for the whole afternoon.
The hunger bad decision cycle. I know it well. I've been trying to meal prep on Sundays to avoid it, making things ahead of time so I don't have to think in the morning.
Does it actually work?
About 50% of the time. Sometimes I meal prep on Sunday and I'm really proud of myself, and then Monday comes and I'm eating the meal prep food, but by Wednesday, I'm bored of it and I'm ordering takeaway again.
Oh no, the midweek takeaway betrayal.
Every time. I convince myself I'll eat the leftovers, and then I don't. And they sit in the fridge looking sad until I throw them away.
Okay, let's talk about work. This is something a lot of people struggle with. How do you actually stay motivated to do work that needs to be done?
That's a big question. I think it depends a lot on whether you actually care about what you're doing. If you care about it, if it feels meaningful, motivation comes a lot more naturally. The problem is when you're doing something that feels pointless.
And a lot of work can feel pointless, even if it isn't. Like, the task itself might be important, but if you can't see the bigger picture, it's hard to get excited about it.
Exactly. I read something once, I can't remember where, about how the secret to motivation is clarity. Knowing exactly what you're trying to achieve and why. Once you have that, it's easier to start.
So, do you set goals? Like formal goals? A 5-year plan kind of thing?
I've tried. I've made so many goal-setting spreadsheets. At one point, I had a color-coded system with quarterly reviews and everything.
That sounds very organized.
It was very organized for about 3 weeks. And then life happened and the spreadsheet sat there, judging me until I eventually deleted it.
The spreadsheet of shame. I've had many of those.
I think the problem with big, elaborate systems is that they're hard to maintain. These days, I'm more of a simple list person. 3 things I want to get done today. Just 3. Nothing more.
That's actually the idea behind a lot of productivity advice. Don't try to do everything. Just do the most important things. What's on your list today?
Today, finish a piece of writing I've been putting off for 2 weeks, reply to some emails that are embarrassingly overdue, and go for a walk. That's it.
I love that a walk is on the list. That's treating your physical well-being as a priority, not an afterthought.
Honestly, if I don't put it on the list, I won't do it. I'll just sit at my desk until 7 in the evening and then wonder why I feel tense and tired.
Oh, absolutely. Working from home changed my relationship with movement completely. When I used to commute, I was walking every day without thinking about it. Now, I have to make a deliberate effort to leave the house.
Do you work from home full time?
Mostly, yeah, a few days a week. And I love it. I love the flexibility. I love not spending 2 hours on public transport every day. But it does blur the lines between work and not work in a way that can be really unhealthy.
Because the office is right there. You never fully leave it.
Right. I'll finish what I think is my workday at 6, and then I'll just wander back to my laptop at 9 to check one thing, and then I'm working again.
The just one more thing trap. I fall into it constantly. And the thing is, it doesn't even feel like work in the moment. It feels like you're being responsible, but actually you're robbing yourself of rest.
I've started being more strict about closing my laptop at a set time and keeping it in a different room in the evening. Same principle as the phone.
You're very disciplined about physically removing things from your environment.
I've learned that I have zero willpower when things are in front of me, so I just move them. It's the laziest form of self-discipline. Make the bad choice harder to make.
That's actually brilliant. Designing your environment so that the good choices are easier, rather than relying on motivation, which comes and goes.
Exactly. Motivation is unreliable. Systems are more reliable. You can't always feel motivated, but you can set things up so that you do the right thing even when you don't feel like it.
That's very pragmatic. I like that. Although I do think there's a version of it that becomes too rigid, where you're following your system so closely that you lose spontaneity. That's fair. You've got to leave room to just not follow the plan sometimes. To have an unproductive Tuesday and not beat yourself up about it. Oh, I needed to hear that. I'm very good at beating myself up about unproductive days.
Yeah, a lot of people are. But one slow day doesn't ruin everything. The people who consistently make progress over time aren't the ones who are perfect every day. They're the ones who can have a bad day and then just start again the next morning. Let's talk about evenings. What do you actually do to switch off after the work is done?
Okay, so recently I've gotten really into cooking. Not just making food because I have to eat, but actually cooking as a hobby. Like taking my time, trying new recipes, making a bit of a project out of it.
That's great. What kind of things do you make?
All sorts, really. I went through a pasta phase a few months ago, making pasta from scratch, which takes ages but is incredibly satisfying. And now I'm doing a lot of Asian cooking, trying to make things like dumplings and ramen at home.
Dumplings from scratch? That sounds very labor intensive.
It is. The first time I made them, it took about 3 hours, and they looked terrible, like little misshapen blobs. But they tasted amazing, and I was so proud of myself.
That's the thing about making something with your hands. Even when it looks imperfect, it tastes better because you made it.
Completely. And it's a really good way to unwind because it requires just enough concentration that you can't think about work, but not so much that it's stressful. Your hands are busy, your brain is focused on something simple, and at the end, you have food.
That's a beautiful description of cooking. What do you think about when you cook? Or do you listen to something?
Usually a podcast, which is ironic, I know, cooking while listening to a podcast, and here I am on a podcast. Sometimes music. Depends on my mood. If I want to think, music. If I want to feel like I'm not alone, a podcast.
I get that. I put on music when I cook too. Something upbeat. It makes even boring tasks feel more enjoyable. Like chopping vegetables for 20 minutes becomes almost meditative with the right soundtrack.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Varies a lot. Anything from jazz to pop to classical, depending on what I'm doing. When I'm cooking, usually something with a bit of energy. When I'm working, instrumental. No lyrics, because lyrics distract me and I start singing instead of concentrating.
Oh, I have that problem too. I once put on a playlist to help me concentrate and spent 40 minutes singing along to it instead.
Not exactly the productivity you were hoping for.
Not exactly, no. So now it's either silence or something without words.
Do you have other hobbies outside of cooking? Things you do to fill your time in a way that feels meaningful?
I read a lot. Well, I say a lot. I try to read a lot. I buy a lot of books. Whether I actually finish them is a different question.
The stack of unread books. Every reader has one.
Mine is genuinely a little scary. I have maybe 30 books that I've bought in the last 2 years and haven't started. But having them makes me feel better. Like the possibility of reading them is satisfying, even if I never do.
That is the most relatable thing you've said so far. I do the same thing with films. I have an enormous watch list that I'll never get through, but adding something to it feels good.
The watch list is a comfort object.
Exactly. It's like telling yourself, I'm a person with interests. I have things I intend to do. I'm cultivating a rich inner life.
Even if you spend the evening watching the same show you've already seen 3 times.
Which is also completely valid. Rewatching something comfortable is genuinely relaxing. There's no suspense, you know how it ends, your brain can just rest.
I've rewatched certain shows an embarrassing number of times. Shows I could probably quote from memory at this point, and I feel no shame about it.
Nor should you. Rest is rest, whatever form it takes. Let's talk about social life. Because I think this is something that gets harder as you get older, and people don't talk about it enough. Making friends, keeping in touch with people, finding time for the people who matter.
It really does get harder. When you're in school or university, friendships just happen because you're constantly around the same people. But once you graduate, suddenly you have to be intentional about it. You have to actually make an effort.
An effort is the word that puts people off. Because after a full day of work and all your responsibilities, making an effort to socialize can feel like just another item on the to-do list.
And sometimes, honestly, you'd rather just stay home. And that's fine sometimes. But if sometimes becomes every weekend, it starts to affect your well-being.
How do you balance that? The introvert need for quiet time versus the genuine human need for connection.
I try to think about it in terms of what I'll regret. If I skip plans, will I feel relieved or will I feel a bit guilty? If it's relief, I probably needed the rest. If it's guilt, I probably should have gone.
That's a useful instinct to develop. Trusting how you'll feel after, not just how you feel in the moment.
Because in the moment, I almost always want to cancel. I'm tired, it's cold outside, my sofa is comfortable. Every reason to stay home seems valid. But then I go, and I always feel better for it. I always come home energized rather than drained.
That's the paradox of socializing for a lot of people. You dread it, you go, and you feel great. And then next time, you forget that and you want to cancel again.
It's like exercise. Every time I'm about to go for a run, I don't want to. Every single time. But I've never once regretted a run after I finished it.
The things that are good for us are so often the things we resist the most.
Yeah. And I think friendships are the same. The relationships that matter most, the ones that make your life genuinely better, take a bit of effort to maintain. You have to send the message, make the plan, show up.
And when you do, it's always worth it. I have friends I might not see for months, but when we get together, it feels like no time has passed. Those kinds of friendships are so valuable.
The ones where you don't need to perform or explain yourself. You can just be exactly who you are and they get it.
That's quite rare, actually. A lot of adult friendships can feel a bit surface level. You're both busy, you catch up, you talk about the same few topics, and then you go home, which is fine. But the deeper ones, the ones where you can talk about the real stuff, those take time to build.
And vulnerability, which is scary. But I think if you want real friendships as an adult, you have to be willing to show the parts of yourself that aren't perfectly put together.
Which brings us back to the theme of the episode, really. Getting your life together doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest with yourself and with the people around you.
I like that. That's a good way to put it.
Okay, let's talk about technology, because I feel like we can't talk about modern life without addressing it. Social media, phones, screens. How do you feel about all of it?
Complicated. Very complicated. I think technology is genuinely incredible. The fact that I can video call someone on the other side of the world, access any information I want in seconds, listen to any song ever recorded, that's amazing.
But
But the social media stuff it's a lot. I've had periods where I've been really sucked in, checking every notification, comparing myself to what people are posting, refreshing my feed out of habit when I'm bored.
the mindless scroll. You pick up your phone for a reason, that reason disappears, and then 15 minutes later, you're watching a video of someone's holiday and you can't remember why you picked up the phone in the first place.
Exactly that. And you can feel it. You can feel that it's not good for you. Your brain is a bit foggy, your mood is slightly worse, but you keep doing it anyway.
I think the reason is that it's designed to be that way. These platforms spend enormous amounts of money and research on making it as hard as possible to stop.
And knowing that doesn't fully protect you from it either. You can understand exactly why something is addictive and still be addicted to it.
I've had a better relationship with it since I started treating my phone time like something that needs to be managed, not just left to chance. Like, I try not to check social media in the first hour of the morning.
What do you do instead?
Read a bit, write in my journal sometimes, make breakfast, and actually pay attention to making it rather than doing it on autopilot while looking at a screen.
There's something really nice about mornings without screens. The day feels like it belongs to you a bit longer.
Exactly. Before the world starts demanding your attention, you get a quiet bit that's just yours. I think that's worth protecting.
I want to start doing that. I genuinely reach for my phone as soon as I wake up, and I know it's a bad habit. I just haven't found anything to replace it with yet.
It doesn't have to be something productive. It can literally just be lying there for 5 minutes doing nothing, letting your brain wake up slowly before you start feeding it information.
Lying there doing nothing. I think I can manage that.
High bar, I know. But seriously, it makes a difference. Okay, before we get to the shadowing recap, let's do our quick takeaways from today. What's the one thing you'd want someone to take away from this conversation? For me, it's the environment thing. Don't rely on willpower, just make it easier to do the right thing. Move your phone. Close your laptop. Put the biscuits where you can't see them. The best habit is the one that doesn't require a decision.
I love that. Mine would be the guilt versus relief test for social situations. If you imagine saying no to plans and you'd feel guilty, go. If you'd feel relieved, it's okay to rest. Learn to trust that instinct.
Both really practical. I think that's what I love about these kinds of conversations. They're not about being perfect. They're about finding small, workable things that actually fit real life.
And being honest about the fact that most of us are figuring it out as we go. Nobody has it completely sorted. The person who looks like they have it together is just someone who's found slightly better ways of managing the chaos.
Right. We're all just slightly different levels of chaos. Some of us have just gotten better at hiding it.
And that's fine. That's human.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who's also trying to get their life together.
Which is everyone. Share it with everyone. And now, time for your shadowing practice. This is the part of the episode where we slow down, and we're going to repeat some key phrases and expressions from today. Listen once, then repeat with us. Ready?
Let's start with some morning phrases. Repeat after me. My alarm goes off at 7.
I hit snooze at least 3 times.
I'm not a person before my first cup of coffee.
The milk to tea ratio matters a lot.
I try to make eggs on a good day.
On a really bad day, I don't eat until 11.
I have a list of 3 things I want to get done today.
Just 3. Nothing more.
I've learned that I have 0 willpower when things are in front of me.
So I just move them.
Motivation is unreliable. Systems are more reliable.
You can't always feel motivated, but you can set things up so that you do the right thing.
Making pasta from scratch takes ages, but is incredibly satisfying.
Rewatching something comfortable is genuinely relaxing.
The things that are good for us are so often the things we resist the most.
You have to send the message, make the plan, and show up.
A lot of adult friendships can feel surface level. The deeper ones take time to build.
Getting your life together doesn't mean being perfect.
It means being honest with yourself and with the people around you.
I know that surprises some people.
That's the most relatable thing you've said so far.
I feel no shame about it.
Nor should you.
I always feel better for it.
That's quite a comforting way to think about it.
I needed to hear that.
One slow day doesn't ruin everything.
We're all just slightly different levels of chaos.
And that's fine. That's human.